I'm Bruce Bugbee, and I'm here in our recording studio today to talk about low-cost LED fixtures for home horticulture. Now, we do a lot of research on LEDs, color of LEDs, efficiency of LEDs, but we use high output LEDs that are expensive, hundreds of dollars. But there is a rapidly emerging market of many options of lights that are somewhere between $20 and $40, and they work wonderfully for home horticulture. At my house, I have maybe a dozen of these lights over plants, and if we cut away and went to my house, you would see them, but they're giant house plants. There's a bird's eye fern that's 6 feet tall under these lights, and some peace lilies that are big. They're fabulous for growing plants in dark corners. They're also fabulous for growing leafy greens on your kitchen counter. You do not have to spend hundreds of dollars to get very useful, effective lights. So what I want to do in the next few minutes is review these lights, show you examples of the ones that I have purchased and how they work, the advantages and disadvantages of all these lights to help you make better selections. So to start with that, we're going to go to the Amazon website, which has lots of lights. You don't need to buy them from Amazon, but there's many options, and I can quickly show you the options from their site. And I can point out the pros and cons of the lights. And we'll start with a little view of that, and then we'll look at the lights themselves. So here we are. We just typed in LED grow light, very generic search, and all of these lights come up. Look, we can scroll and scroll. There's dozens and dozens of lights on here. The first selection criteria is cost. Look at these that are here. $254, $450, even this one's $159. You do not need to pay that much. Maybe if you're growing cannabis, you need high light, but we're talking about growing leafy greens, lettuce and basil and spinach and all of your favorite houseplants under these. You don't need lights like that. So you can screen down here for price. Under 25 to 50, that's a useful screening feature. But for now, let's just leave this. There's no single brand that's the best. These are all, they're made in China. Sometimes they're hard to tell who makes them. Here's the first point. We scroll up a little. Many of these lights are purple. Rule number one, do not buy purple lights. The reason they even exist is they're slightly more electrically efficient, and you can save 10 cents a month on your electric bill, but they're horrible to work under. They're horrible to look. They make the plants look black. We no longer use those at all in our research, and I don't recommend them because they're the really difficult color. They are finally going out of fashion. There's many more of the white LEDs than these. People say full spectrum. Well, that's fine. These are full spectrum lights, but it's not because they make the plants grow better. It's because they're much more pleasant to have in your house. The light quality is fine. Most of these now are a warm white color, like the warm white fluorescence you might have in a bathroom. Cool white means bright blue light, and sometimes that can be a little bit harsh. It's so blue in your house. So warm white is a really excellent color. Most of these are warm white. But again, here's one that's not so bad, $80, but I said we're going to look at $20 to $40. So even this one is getting up there in cost. They don't give you a lot of specs. They give you a lot of seeming specs in these lights, but most of them don't mean much. Let's scroll down here to, we can probably just screen. On that first page, even this first page, it doesn't include any of the lights we've purchased. Let's just try this. $25 to $50. So we've edited this to be the $25 to $50 lights. There's many options. You get rid of the purple lights. Here's one. It's called the Gray Love SP1000. Let's take a look at that. This is not a light that I have purchased for analysis yet, but I looked at it before. It looks promising. It's a good sized light. They show us the size in here. $46. You get a lot of light from this. Might be overkill for some things. It's dimmable. You can use high, medium, and low. This shows the uniformity of the light. Ooh, I got to be careful to touch this. Let's go back to that. This shows the spectra. It's warm white. It's got a lot of orange and red, not so much blue. And then after that, there's a dimmable. There's what else comes in the package. So this is a light worth considering in this. But if you look closely at this, these are LEDs mounted on a board, and they're not focused. They'll shoot the light sideways. So they kind of light up your whole living room, whether you want it or not. It's possible to get lights with the LEDs indented, and then they're much more focused. So let's take a look. Let me take a look here. I'm not going to search through all these lights. Let's skip to this light right here. This one is a YesCom. This was one of the early lights. We started buying this one for research about 5 or 6 years ago. It used to be about $22. The prices crept up a little bit. This is a fine light, but it's a thin panel, and it's one of those lights that shoots the light out sideways. So let me show you in a demonstration the effect of a light that's focused and one that's on a flat panel. And we've got lights set up right here. And I can wheel them in here and plug them in. We lost our yellow cord. I guess shoot, the yellow cord went away, but I can plug them in here. These are very rigged up here just so we can do this demo. And we'll get them flat. See if we can get this flat. If you can see this light on the left shoots the light sideways. Let's do these one at a time. This one is this light right here, shoots the light sideways, and I'm going to unplug that. A little bit hard to see in the studio. You can see this is a cool white light. It's bright. Look at my hand. It looks white, not flesh colored, because this is a cool white. And the light shoots sideways out. And I have found this light is undesirable because of the sideways light. So for a little bit more money, we get this light, which I'm going to tilt it up so you can see it. Look at this. It's still not bright because the LEDs are inset and they're more focused. So this gives more light right below it. And this has less light pollution all over your house than this one. Let's take a look at the light output. To do this, you need a light meter, quantum sensor. These outputs are going to be similar. They take similar wattage. To do this, we got to hold the sensor similar distance. These are not bright lights. This one I'm getting 31 micromoles per meter squared per second. And this one I'm getting, we got to get this back to the light. I didn't have it on the right setting. Let's do it again. This one I'm getting 460 below that light. And this one I am getting 460 below this light. So they're both a similar output. This light takes only 18 watts. This one takes 24 watts. So by virtue of being a little more focused, it's a little bit brighter right here. But the big difference is side lighting. And I have found these inset lights to be more helpful for this. Now, let's wheel this away for the moment and look at these lights on the screen. Keep our meter right there. There. We've got this set up to look at some other lights. Let me skip to this. Nope, skip to this one. This is the website for that focused light. You can see it's in depth. You can see the lights are inset. Nowhere do they show the picture of it, but they don't advertise that fixture here. This is a $21 light, so this is a little cheaper than the previous light. Again, you just got to scroll and look through these to find the lights with the features you want, because there's no clear identifying feature that would tell you search just for this light. Let's go back to another light right here. That's only, it's $19.95, $20. Here's this light. We've bought a lot of these, tested them. Comes in a real nice box. So if you want to give it as a gift to someone, this is a great box. Now let's take a look at the light. And I gotta plug this in. This light has a switch. So this is a combination of reds and, I'm gonna not point these right at the camera, of reds and whites. So it's somewhat of a warm color. This is somewhat flexible. You can put these together, you can put them apart. There's two things, you put them under a shelf, so that's a bit of an advantage. Note these are not in set, so they give you a lot of side lighting. But this is called this is one that does have a name, a Sepal LED grow light. When these say 20 watts, that doesn't mean that's the power they take. That's some advertising thing similar to the what the equivalent of an incandescent would be. But in this case, this one is about a 20-watt light. So this is a light worth considering because of the flexibility and low cost. Now let's look at that one, this one. Here's another warm white, one in a box. Oop, I don't want to do that. Here is one that is purple. It's got a few blues in it, but it's purple. When I hit the reorder on this light at Amazon, the light I ordered did not come up with the exact website. A purple light came up. So apparently this manufacturer has replaced their wonderful warm light with a purple light. So it's unfortunate, but you got to be careful to screen these. And then finally, this is one that we haven't tested, but it's another possibility. You can go in here and count the LEDs from their pictures, but this is the $45 roughly gets you twice the amount of light as a $20 light, but these are sort of overkill. They have more light than you really would need for most plants. I think that's all I want to say about these. Buy them and use them. It will enrich your life. You need them on a time clock, so you have to buy a little. Some of them have timers, and you buy a time clock and keep them on. One more thing, I forgot to show you one light. Here's a box. This is a light that comes in tubes, and you open the box, and the light looks like this. And we've mounted those tubes on a piece of styrofoam here. Plug it in. Here, I could plug this one in. This is also a fine light. This one's got a switch. This one's dimmable, so we can do multiple levels. But this is a nice one because you can put these in long linear strips. This is one of the defining characteristics. But you can see lots of lights now with warm white LEDs. That's a great thing, or options. So let's take a look at what it costs to run these lights per month on your electric bill, because people get concerned, and rightly so. So here's one. Most of these lights are about 20 watts. So it's the same as a 20-watt light bulb. So what does that cost? So if we have, let's get our pen up here. If we have 20 watts times, we're going to run these for 16 hours HR per day. That's a typical time. You don't want them to run at night, keeps people up, and some plants don't like to have light all the time. So 20 times 16 is 320 watt hours. This is watt hours per day. And this is 0.32 kilowatt hours. That's just how we pay for electricity, kilowatt hours. So it takes 0.32 kilowatt hours per day. And now, let's take that times 10 cents per kilowatt hour. This is a real typical price for residential electricity. You can see the math. That cancels out. This equals 3.2 cents per day. Or 30 days in a month, we're about $1 per month to run a 20-watt light. $12 a year. I submit that unless you're really out of money, that's some of the best $12 in a year you're going to spend is running these lights and growing great plants. They don't cost much. If you get a big one, a bright one, this might go, let's put that in a different color here, red. They might get up to, no, red's not a good color, blue. They might get up to 40 watts, but then everything doubles, and if it's a 40 watt, now you're looking at $2 a month. Still not expensive. Big lights for LEDs, now we're talking much more. Now we're talking 100 times this easily to get bright light to grow real highlight crop plants. But none of the plants we're talking about are high light. So there's the math and the cost per month. So I would like to walk over here and show you our Venus flytrap research that we have going on with one of these lights. We've done a lot of research on nutrition of Venus flytraps. Here's a few of them. Most of the research is done now. But here's one of these lights, warm white, mounted under the counter, focused. You can see my hand looks flesh colored under this light. The plants grow great. This is just a little lid to keep them healthy. These are really healthy Venus flytrap plants, and we've had them a long time in here. So it's a really good example of what you can do with lights. Venus flytraps are tricky to grow, but under this steady light, they love it. Keep a lid on to keep a little bit higher humidity. You can see one of them's flowering in here. So there's an example of these lights. Thanks for listening. I hope this video inspires you to buy some of these lights for home horticulture.